All right, growing in containers is amazing, especially if you don't have a whole lot of land, a whole lot of space. You can do it in your apartment, you could do it in just a small part of land. You could do it when you're living in a small neighborhood, in a cookie cutter neighborhood, doesn't matter where you're at. Container growing is a really great thing to do. We have a huge garden out there, but there's a few plants that grow, we found that grow super well in containers versus out in the ground. Eggplants is one of them. So if you see all these eggplants, these all we grew from seed and we planted in containers here. All of them are doing amazing. We planted these just a couple weeks ago, and we'll show you the comparison versus in the container versus inside of our garden. But in the garden, they barely grew at all in the past 2.5 months or so. We planted these a few weeks ago and they surpassed the one out in the garden. Eggplants, we've always found to grow better inside of containers than in the ground. So if you love eggplants, just get a container, get some dirt and grow them out of your container and they'll get humongous. I want to kind of walk through what we did. So this is our setup and I'll walk you through exactly what we did. We use these smaller containers here. We bought flowers, but these right here are really great to start in as well. There's a few things you could start your seeds in. You can start them in these little containers here. They could get a little large before you start planting them in these. But what we do most of the time to grow a ton of things at once is we use egg cartons. And egg cartons is what grew everything out in that 1,600 square foot garden. These right here are eggplants, little starts here, and these are gonna go into a bigger containers pretty soon here. But we started them in here. They grew, and once they get a couple more millimeters larger than this, we're going to start transferring them to the bigger containers. So we transfer them into these when they were just a little bit bigger than this, and they blew up in a matter of just a couple weeks. And they are almost getting to the point where we're going to do their final transport into a larger container. This one might be the first one that's going to get replanted. And these last two here are getting pretty big, but we're eventually getting them into containers like this. So this is where its final home will be, in a container about this size here. This is an eggplant right here. Obviously, this one's starting to flower. We want it to get a lot bigger than this, obviously, and it's going to get huge. In about a month, it'll probably be up to about here, and we'll be getting 1.5 pound eggplants out of it. But this is all you really need. What we buy here, we get the Fairy Morse Black Beauty eggplants. These are all Black Beauty. We like the white eggplants too. White eggplants are really good, but these are all the Black Beauty. We buy these seeds, and this is the dirt that we use. Right here, we get this stuff from Lowe's. You know, anybody can go to Lowe's and get these things. We've been using this dirt for years. It works awesome. And so we use that dirt, we throw it in these containers, and it does really well. And like I say in previous videos, you're gonna get the maximum growth if you use rainwater. So these are our rain barrels. These are full of water. These are 55 gallons. All we use is rainwater. And these plants are just super green and they grow really fast. Don't use your hose water. So that's all you really need. Get your container, grow out of egg containers. If you want, you could grow a whole bunch out of there. That's all you really need. Get your seeds, start either in an egg carton or in these larger planting containers. You can buy these online for relatively cheap, and then transfer them into a larger pot. And once they're about ready, you'll know when it's time. Usually when they get to about this height, you want to go ahead and transfer them into a large container. And like I said, if you live in an apartment and you have a little terrace out there, just put them out on your terrace. They love sun. You want to give them a little bit of shade here and there, but get plenty of rainwater. And of course, if you're able to, get a greenhouse or build it like we did. This one's custom built. It does the job. It gets it really hot in there. It's about 110 degrees in there during the day. So this is really all you need. And let's show you the eggplants that we actually grew out of the ground about a month and a half before we planted these. Well, take a look down here. It's pretty sad. Really sad sight to see. These are the eggplants we planted in the ground. Very tiny. And to add to it, when we till our ground, and you'll know this from if you watch our other videos, we mix the good soil that we buy from the store, what we just showed you, in with the normal soil. So there is, good dirt in there either way. But this is as high as they've gotten. We planted these months ago. These are the 4 that survived. And try to imagine this entire row was eggplants. And these are the only 4 that survived. So in our ground, they don't get very big. And we tried it in the last house that we lived in as well. We tried to plant them in the ground and they didn't do well either. But every single time we planted in containers, they grew like crazy and gave us a ton of eggplants. So that's in the ground and versus what we have in the container. All right, so we'll give you an update video as we go on, and we're going to transfer all these eggplants into the large containers, and we'll keep you updated. We'll show you as they grow larger and larger, and then we'll give you updates on when we get the huge eggplants that are coming out there. Like I said, in the last place that we lived, we were growing eggplants that were over a pound and a half. They were very large, homegrown. So we'll keep you updated. And I hope you liked the video. This is basically to start and finish growing eggplants out of containers. Works out great. If you like our videos, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share, and we hope to see you on the next video.